معي المودة والصداقة.
You're watching the English newscast here on Future Television. I'm Linda Tanina. These are today's top stories. North Lebanon motorists plead the Public Works Minister to come to their aid as weather conditions worsen. A federal judge blocks part of U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order on immigration, ruling that travelers who have already landed in the U.S. with valid visas should not be sent back to their home countries. And French voters come to the polls to pick the Socialist Party's presidential candidate in a runoff pitting pro-business ex-premier Manuel Valls against hard-left lawmaker Benoit Hamon. North Lebanon motorists pleaded the Public Works Minister to come to their aid as weather conditions worsened. A number of residents in the northern city of Akkad had to abandon their cars over the weekend due to icy conditions. Recent cold and stormy weather has led to major road closures across Lebanon's mountain areas, some of which are so remote they're inaccessible to Public Works Ministry emergency teams. Even when the roads are cleared, the below-zero temperatures in North and East Lebanon have caused layers of ice to form and motorists to lose control of their vehicles. President Michel Aoun says he is not thinking of running for a second term. In an interview with French LCI TV, Aoun said, quote, "We are currently preparing to have a suitable successor to set a role model for others," without mentioning the name of his potential successor. The president carried on saying, quote, "Politics to me is to help the others, the state, the nation, and the people. With time, we acquire better experience and we become wiser as we try to avoid severe mistakes." Head of the Free Patriotic Movement, Gibran Bassil, has attended the 11th commemoration of the signed Memorandum of Understanding between his party and Hezbollah. The event was held in Mar Mikhail Church in Shiyah. Just a reminder that the MOU was officially signed by Hezbollah Secretary General Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah and FPM founder, current President Michel Aoun. Coming up next, Adama Barrow, the Gambia's new president, vows to reform the country's notorious intelligence agency. More details after the break. Welcome back. A Palestinian was shot dead and 5 others were wounded by Israeli soldiers at the Jenin camp in the occupied West Bank. The person who was killed was identified as 19-year-old Muhammad Abu Khalifa. The shooting reportedly occurred after an incursion into the camp by Israeli forces sparked clashes with young Palestinians. Fierce battles between Yemeni government forces and Shiite rebels on the country's west coast have killed more than 100 fighters in the past 24 hours. The bodies of at least 90 Houthi rebels were taken to a hospital in the Red Sea city of Hodeidah, which is controlled by the insurgents, while 19 dead soldiers were taken to the southern port city of Aden. Deadly clashes have shaken the area around the key Red Sea town of Mocha since the start of the year, when loyalist fighters launched an offensive to oust the Iran-backed Houthi and their allies. Mexico's government rebuked Israel for tweets by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that appeared to applaud U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to build a border wall with Mexico to keep out illegal immigrants. Netanyahu's comment was swiftly rejected by leaders of the Jewish community in Mexico and prompted an unusually blunt statement from Mexico's foreign ministry. Mexico's government and Trump have been locked in a bitter dispute over his election campaign promise to build a wall on the U.S. southern border that he says Mexico will pay for. Moving on to France, voters came to the polls to pick the Socialist Party's presidential candidate in a runoff pitting pro-business ex-premier Manuel Valls against hard-left lawmaker Benoit Hamon. Hamon, who is often compared to British Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, is favoured to beat Valls in the primaries head-to-head vote, but has little chance of winning the presidential race proper after 5 years of unpopular socialist rule. Opinion polls have shown neither man would garner enough support to reach the election's runoff in May. likely to come in a humiliating fifth place in the first round behind centrist Emmanuel Macron and left-winger Jean-Luc Mélenchon. Adama Barrow, the Gambia's new president, has vowed to reform the country's notorious intelligence agency and promised to ensure media freedom in the country. Speaking at his first news conference since returning to take office on Thursday, Barrow announced plans to rename the National Intelligence Agency, a dreaded secret police accused by rights groups of forced disappearances and torture under the control of former leader Yahya Jammeh. Barrow told reporters the NIA was an institution that has to continue, but with a different name. A federal judge has blocked part of U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order on immigration, ruling that travelers who have already landed in the U.S. with valid visas should not be sent back to their home countries. Lawyers had filed a legal case in response to the order that includes a 90-day entry ban on citizens of 7 Muslim-majority nations. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly's ruling late on Saturday concerns dozens of people who were detained at U.S. airports following Trump's actions. The American Civil Liberties Union, which has filed a class action lawsuit against the ban, hailed the temporary stay of execution as a victory. The legal case was raised after 2 Iraqis were held by law enforcement officials at New York's JFK airport while trying to legally enter the country.
We asked the judge to hold everything in place. We believe this executive order is clearly unlawful. But what we said to the judge is we understand she may need time to figure that out, to block the removal of everyone nationwide who's been caught up in this unlawful executive order. She agreed the government may not send anybody back until she finally rules. Everyone now who came is safe.
And so this was a remarkable day. What we've shown today is that the courts can work. They are a bulwark in our democracy. And when President Trump enacts laws or executive orders that are unconstitutional and illegal, the courts are there to defend everyone's rights. So we want to thank you very, very much.
President Donald Trump's signing of an executive action to bring sweeping changes to the nation's refugee policies is causing fear and alarm for immigrants in the U.S. whose family members will be affected. Here are a few reactions.
I need to save them, but they're not letting me. I mean, every day I wake up on a phone call, and I'm afraid to hold that phone because I don't want to hear like, oh, you lost a brother, or you lost a sister, or you lost someone. I can't do it anymore.
It's going to affect me in a very negative way because I'm not going to be able to bring the rest of my family. I have my brother-in-laws and my cousins still there. We're communicating with them and they're dying. They're under siege, no food, no medicine. Their house has been bombed. Their shelters are being bombed. And they have no way to go anywhere. I mean, no one is taking them. Where can they go?
And I really hate Trump because he's not letting me helping them and taking care of them.
We needed to save them. He didn't do anything that's not good. We have to do something for them.
It's heartbreaking, first of all. What's making Trump move so quickly is that he has the support of the GOP behind him, who have been wanting to do this for 8 years. People have to flee to stay alive. Parents are being killed, children are being abandoned, and the Trump administration's solution is to build more detention centers. We disagree with that.
President Trump's executive orders, presented under the deliberately misleading guise of national security, are an assault on American pluralism and a failure to live up to the values that make our nation great. Moreover, they do nothing to enhance the security and safety of Americans. Instead, introducing a number of unnecessary, redundant, and cruel bureaucratic hurdles to families at home and abroad who view our country as a beacon of hope.
Because I'm fear for my family. My family is still left behind. I couldn't sleep. Even when I woke up again, I have fear with me. I couldn't work, at the work time, because I have my family, my friends. They think that the history of America This is how they do when someone helped them and they left them behind there for the mercy of the terrorists.
Iranian actress Taraneh Ali-Dosti will not attend the 2017 Academy Awards in protest against Trump's planned Muslim immigration ban. Jason Mansaray reports.
It's an Iranian movie nominated for an Oscar. It's called The Salesman and is up for Best Foreign Language Film at the 89th Academy Awards. But the film's star, Taraneh Ali-Dosti, has said she won't attend the glitzy ceremony in February. In a tweet, the 33-year-old Iranian actress blamed Donald Trump, saying Trump's visa ban for Iranians is racist. Whether this will include a cultural event or not, I won't attend the Academy Awards 2017 in protest. Her announcement comes at a time when Trump is expected to sign an executive order that will block Syrian refugees' entry into the United States and will suspend the entry of any immigrants from Muslim-majority countries, including Syria, Yemen and Iran. In The Salesman, Ali-Dosti plays one half of an Iranian couple whose lives are changed after an act of violence is committed against her character. The movie has already won prizes at film festivals in Cannes, Chicago and Munich.
Back here in Lebanon, airlines operating at Beirut's international airport have begun implementing a travel ban to the United States for citizens of 7 Muslim-majority countries. The International Air Travel Agency order comes hours after 3 Syrian nationals traveling to the U.S. were forced to return from Paris to Beirut. The family had boarded a Lebanese airliner's aircraft to Paris and was supposed to board another flight from Paris to Atlanta in the United States. This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a recap of our top stories. North Lebanon motorists plead the public works minister to come to their aid as weather conditions worsen. A federal judge blocks part of U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order on immigration, ruling that travelers who have already landed in the U.S. with valid visas should not be sent back to their home countries. And French voters come to the polls to pick the Socialist Party's presidential candidates in a runoff pitting pro-business ex-premier Manuel Valls against hard-left lawmaker Benoit Hamon. Those are your top stories for this Sunday. I'm Linda Tamim and I thank you all for watching.
خلوا لما المودة والصداقة